Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to write decimals in standard form and in words. First, before we do that, you need to know your place values. I'm going to list them and I'll show you how to use them later. Now that we listed them, on this side here, you're going to replace all the last letter S by a THS. And I'll show you why we're doing that. Keep faith, don't worry, I'll explain everything. Now, let's say that you have a number like this. 458.302.719. And they were to ask you to list the place value for the 4, the 5, the 8, the 3, the 0, the 2, the 7, the 1, and the 9. What will be the place value of each digit here? But first, notice that decimal point here. When you have a decimal number, to the left of the decimal, they call this part the whole number part. Whole number part. And to the right of the decimal, here, that's the guy they call the decimal part. Now, and this guy here is obviously the decimal point. Now, to the left of the decimal, this is the table that we use to name the place value of a digit to the left of a decimal. And to the right of the decimal, this is the table we use to find the place value of a digit to the right of the decimal. So here, you always start at the decimal point and you start going to the left for your whole number part. So starting by going to the left, the first number that I see is 8. So 8 is in the ones place. The second number I see is the 5. So 5 is in the tens place. The third number that I see from the left when I'm reading that way is a 4. So 4 is in the hundreds place. Let's start at the decimal again for the decimal part. So let's start here and we're going to right this time. The first number I see is the 3. So therefore we say that the 3 is in the tens place. The next number is the 0. So 0 is in the hundreds. 2 is in the thousands. 7 is in the 10,000s. 1 is in the 100,000th. And 9 is in the millions. So this is how you would recognize the place value of a number. So make sure that you remember this chart. We're going to use it a lot. So let's look at an example. So let's say that you have this number, 0.9684. And they ask you to write this number in words. First, what you want to do is you want to look where the decimal point is. And you're going to look out to the left of the decimal point, and you're going to look out to the right of the decimal point. Here, there's no number here really, it's just a 0. And a 0 by itself before the decimal point, we just don't care about it when we're reading the number. Now let's look at the right part of the decimal point. On the right part of the decimal point, we see this number here. So in order for you to read it, what you're going to do is, you're going to read this number just the way it is by forgetting about the decimal point. So what is this number? If I were to read this number, what is this number? So let me put some decimals here, some commas, so you're able to read it better. So 1, 2, 3, comma. So how would you read this? Obviously, this number here, we can read it as 9,684. Now here's the problem. The fact that this number here is to the right of the decimal point, what you're going to do is you're always going to look at the last digit. And you're going to find the place value, just like we did before, of this digit. Let's look at the decimal point. Try to remember, what was the place value of this number here? This number was in the 10th place. This one is 100th. The 8 is in the 1000th. Remember that THS sound. And then the 4 is in the 10,000s. Therefore, when you read in this number, after you say 9,684, you have to say the place value of the last digit. So that means the place value of the 4, which is 10,000. So that means after 84, you have to say 10,000. So that's how you would read this number here. 9,600. So let's remove the S here. So 9,684 10,000th. Let's look at another example. Let's say that you have this number here. Again, here's your decimal point. So you have the number before the decimal point and the number after the decimal point. Now in this case, this is not a 0. So the number before the decimal point, what is it? This is 372. So how would you write it? You would write 372. Now, the decimal point, when you're reading it in words, the decimal point stands for n, the word n. So that means after 372, we're going to put the word n, just because we have the decimal point here. Then 516. So we have to write 516. Again, what did we say about any number to the right of the decimal? Any number to the right of the decimal, you have to look at the last digit, find its place value, because remember the 5 here is in the 10th place. The 1 here is in the 100th place. And the 6 itself here is in the 1000th. So always take the last digit, find its place value, and write it all the way at the end here. So how would you read this number here? So again, this guy here was the whole number part, the number that was to the left of the decimal point, and this side here is the number that was to the right of the decimal point that they call the decimal part here. So to read this number, we will read it as 372, and because of the decimal point, 516 thousandth, because we always put the place of the last digit, the place value of the last digit. So that's how you would read that number here. Let's look at another example where they give you the number in words and we have to write it in standard form. Now we have, let's say that they say write 23 and 247 millions in standard form. So what do they want you to write? They want you to write 23. Now remember what we said about the word n, what it stands for. The word n just stands for the decimal point. 247. Now any word that ends by a th sound, you're going to forget about it. Just underline it. But this is not going to contribute to our writing on the problem here. I'll show you what I mean. So first, how would you write 23? We'll just write 23 in this way, right? N stands for the decimal point. So right after 23, what do we see? We see the word n. So that means right after 23, what are we going to put? We're going to put a decimal point. Then to the right of the decimal point, what do we see? We see 247, right? So how would you write 247? You would literally write it that way, 247. Now here's the thing. When we're writing a number, a decimal number in words, usually what did we say? The last digit here, we always write the place value of the last digit. So that means we expect the last digit, which is 7, which is the 7 here, to be in the millions place. Again, try to remember your place values. Right after the decimal, to the right of the decimal, what was the first place value? We had the tens, hundredth. Now, what did we say? The last digit, which is the 7, should be in what place? In the millions place. So that means 7 should be in the millions place. But right after the decimal, what comes? It's the tenth place. So if 7 is the millionth place, the 4 has to be in what place? In the 100,000 place. And the 2 has to be in the 10,000 place. So that means we need to fill in the blank here with zeros. So your number is not going to look like this. Technically, your number will look like this. We have 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. Then the 247. Again, the reason for that is because the 7 should be in the millionth place. If we left the 7 here, technically the 7 wouldn't be in the millions place. It would be in the, because this is the tens, this is hundredth, and this is thousandth. So if we left the number like this wouldn't be right. So this is your final answer. Why? Because the 7 should be in the millionth place. Because this is the tenth, this is the hundredth, this is thousandth, 10,000th, 100,000th, and then millionth. So this is the correct answer. So thanks for watching and make sure you practice. Bye.